How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, do me a huge favor, go down, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel while you're here. We're trying to hit 100,000 by the end of this summer. I need your guys' help. Now, in previous videos, if you guys are new here, I usually have a couple of cars sitting in my garage. The garage is very empty right now. There's no cars here. The Lexus isn't here. If you missed the last video, we installed a new screen on the Lexus. The only car that I currently have here is the Miata. But the Mustang is gone because obviously it's getting worked on. BMW and Lexus are out right now. So the question remains, should I sell the Mustang? Is it time to sell the Mustang? I got an offer for the car. I have a list of everything that went wrong with the car. And let me tell you, it is quite extensive. We also have news on what happened to the car and why it was leaking oil. One of the parts they installed during the month period the car was missing, it broke again. So I hope this isn't going to be a reoccurring thing from now on, that the car is just going to continuously break. But that is one reason why I would consider switching out. Let's sit down, let's talk about it. So let's look at it this way. I got an offer on the Mustang for $37,000. I bought the car for a little less. I put a little bit more money into it. I'm a little more than 37 into the car, but thinking about it, I still have my stock wheels, which are worth as much as my RTR wheels are. I might swap them either way and just keep my RTR wheels. Take a couple of the other modifications off. So at the end of the day, I'll probably lose about $1,000 or so in modifications, maybe a little bit more. I'm getting offered $37,000, which is more than what I bought the car for. When you put mods on a car, you don't expect to get that money back for the most part, and I'm not expecting to get that money back. But the thing is, I'm still being offered more than what I bought the car for initially, and I've put like 12,000 miles on the car, maybe a little bit more. And in my thought, I'm basically breaking even on this car. I have some modifications on the car, but I put a decent amount of miles on the car to justify losing that little bit of money, I guess. So the thing is now, do I sell the Mustang? I've got the offer from the dealership. I might get a little more from somewhere else. So if I do get an offer of $40,000, I think I'd be highly inclined to sell it because of the transmission issues that are happening in the car. Once I get the car back, we'll talk through every single thing that went wrong. I still need to kind of look through and look up some of the parts and stuff because it's not very clear on the sheet what everything is. There was a clutch that went bad for sure. Transmission was grinding, so I'm assuming sync rods of some kind were also replaced. And then another thing broke and the car started leaking oil, which it's in the shop for again. I've missed the car out of this year already a month, and now the car's gone again, so I'm gonna miss it another week and a half, 2 weeks. So I just about haven't had the car this year for already 2 months of the year, because it was a little more than a month from what I remember. Every single issue has been with the transmission. I haven't had any issue with anything else in the car. Which leads me to my options. Since the transmission is the thing that's faulting this car, I could get an upgraded transmission. I could also add a little bit more power and boost the car. Of course, that's gonna cost a little bit of money, throw the warranty out the window, and I mean, I'm not too worried about anything other than the transmission. I'd probably get an additional transmission warranty with the upgraded transmission that I do buy, because I believe companies do supply like a 6-month or year warranty on those type of things. But then there's the thing. I'm going to be putting more money into the car. I probably won't sell the car ever again if I do those things because, one, the car will never be worth as much as it is right now. Right now is kind of the peak. Cars are probably going to drop 5 to 10%. So if I am going to sell, I should do it now because my Mustang is most likely never going to be worth as much as $37,000 ever again. The more miles I put on it, the more I use it, the less the car is going to be worth. The more the car gets old, the less the car is going to be worth in the future. Maybe one day in like 50 to 60 years, the car might rise again because cars hit a little bit of a depreciation curve. Cars that are worth buying, they hit the bottom of the curve and they go back up. Some cars spike super high, some cars don't. The only situation I see that happening where the car doesn't lose value is I put another 15, 20,000, 10,000, nothing crazy mileage on the car, and then the new generation Mustang isn't a 5.0 V8. It doesn't have a V8 in it at all, or they really mess it up in some situation. the likelihood of that happening isn't too high. I kind of have some good expectations for Ford for this next generation. That being said, what would I upgrade from the Mustang? Where can I go that would be up from the Mustang? Again, I'd have about $40,000 to buy a car. Maybe a little bit more stretching the budget would be a Z01 1LE. But the Z01 1LE is, again, almost a $75,000 car at this point. Used, brand new. Can't really find a really good deal on a 1LE. If I do find a good deal, it's going to be higher mileage, abused, or have some issues. Now, the reason why I'm saying I want to go Camaro is because I don't want to go GT350. When I buy a GT350, it's going to be a Gen 2 Voodoo. It's going to be, you know, the second generation with the rev match, with all the features, and the better motor. The earlier motors for me aren't worth buying because I plan to drive the next car that I buy a significant amount of miles. And for 65, 70,000, I'd rather get a Z01. Now the GT350 is a great car. I'd rather own a GT350 than a Z01 in multiple situations, but this is not a situation where I would want the 350 because it's gonna be my only newer car that I'm gonna be driving a whole lot. Now, GT500, a little too expensive. I want a track pack one, immediately puts it over 100 grand. If I don't get a track pack one, it's still an $85,000 car right now, used or new if you can find them. So not really too inclined to get a GT500, plus gas mileage is not the best in that car. Some other options, coming down in the price range, obviously I don't want to be spending 70K on a car right now. You know, maybe extending it a little bit, you know, maybe like $10,000. I think I could pull off a Mark V Supra. Would the Mark V Supra be a sufficient upgrade from the Mustang? It definitely is an upgrade, but is it something that I would want to go for? I don't know. Because I am really enjoying having a big V8. The sound, the power at the low end, all of that. Do I want to replace that with an inline 6 turbo? Not really, even though the Supra is a much better car than the Mustang. So I don't really know what to do. I have some options of cars that I would like to buy. I have some criteria, I guess. I don't really know. I'd love to get a BMW M3. That M3 is very high contender on the list, up there with the Mark V and the Z01. Z01 is a little out of the price range, because if I buy a Z01, it has to have the 1LE pack, because why would it not have the 1LE pack? It looks insane with the 1LE. The massive wing, the huge canards in the front. The Z01 1LE is an absolute monster of a car, and if I get a Z01, it's gonna be a 1LE. I'd rather spend the extra 10K and get a 1LE than not get a 1LE. I need you guys to help me decide what I want to do. Most likely, unfortunately, I would love to keep the Mustang, but it makes so much sense to trade it in right now because I'm having problems with the car. It's annoying me, it's starting to annoy me. I don't have the car, I can't just actively drive it. I've had 2 issues in this year already, and we're only halfway through the year. I haven't even driven it all that much. And I'm getting offered a really good deal, and I could get something a little bit better, a little bit of an upgrade, and change up the garage a little bit. The Mach 1 as of right now is off the table because it's a little too expensive. So I'm gonna wait for those to become a little more used before I go into it and the market to cool down a little bit. You know, maybe I sell the Mustang and wait a couple of months. And then when the market does have that 5 to 10% drop, I go and buy something a little more fun in the same price range, the $40,000 price range, because cars are going to come down a little bit. So cars like M3s, even possibly the Supras. And once the Supra manual comes out, the Supra is going to drop in price, which is what I've been waiting for quite some time. So that's possibly going to happen. I'm going to wrap this video up because I have a feeling it's going to be way too long. But let me know what you guys think. The Mustang, I'm still bouncing it back and forth, but that's where I'm thinking right now. I know I've said in the last couple of videos I've had a Bronco update. Stay tuned for that. Give me like a week and a half and I should have a very solid update on the Bronco, or at least fingers crossed I will. That's all I have for this video. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, comment below what you think. Make sure you guys subscribe though. We're trying to hit 100K. We're 19,000 subscribers away. So we're getting closer to that goal, but we need to hit the goal by the end of the summer. Because if you subscribe, I might not have to sell the Mustang. Think about it that way. Because I would be able to financially justify keeping the car and upgrading it. That's all I have though. I will see you guys in the next video.